Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're watching episode 4 of Arcane. The last one was a doozy. It took me a while actually to recover from that. I spent so much emotional capital, and granted, it's hard from my reaction to see all of that. Hopefully, at some point, I can do a full length reaction. I will still have to edit that because there was a lot of nose blowing going on during that reaction. But definitely, it was hard for me to move forward emotionally. I just wasn't prepared for the next chapter. I'm not sure what to expect. I know that I've been told that there are some time jumps that happen, and I'm thinking that because people were saying it's like 3 different acts, that this next act will be a time jump, which is good because if I have to see little girl Powder kind of break bad, it's it would have been too much. So I think actually jumping forward in time and just already kind of seeing her maybe a little different because of Silko's influence is probably going to be better for me. I don't actually need to see kids break that way. I just it's heartbreaking, literally. So Vi was definitely feeling grief over losing her brothers, like her friends, and then really losing Vander in that moment, like that made her snap. There was like the straw that broke the camel's back, and she strikes Powder, calls her a Jinx. Oh, words are so powerful. People don't realize that when you say something to somebody, like it can cut to the bone. Just being called a Jinx, I don't. Ouch. But then she like leaves her. And I don't think that Vi was leaving her to like never talk to her again. I think she needed to get away from her in that moment because Powder was so happy about her bomb working that like she didn't realize the destruction that it caused and the people that were dead. And she didn't even care that Vander was like right there in front of her dead. She was more excited about her bomb working, and that's what she was focused on was that. She thought she thought that she saved them. She made things worse. But I think if Marcus doesn't interfere, then Vi probably gets killed by Silko. And so Marcus interfering, it's stopping her from helping Powder and pretty much sealed Powder's fate because now Powder is in the hands of Silko. And I remember actually I think it was at the end of episode 1, where I was like, oh, I'm excited to, one day see one of those things work. I take it back. I really take it back. Really, really, really take it back. But holy foreshadow. Holy foreshadow. I want to just say that, like, there are very few shows where I can appreciate the writing, like maybe episode to episode, but like The Long Game, the only one that I can compare it to, and I know the two shows don't have anything in common, but Breaking Bad. There are things that are in episodes in previous seasons that they call upon 3 seasons later, and like they play the long game and they prepare for the whole storyline. And I feel like, and even though it was only 3 episodes, but I feel like there was like stuff that felt throwaway that absolutely was not. And I really appreciate the writing. I think the animation is gorgeous, obviously, but like the fact that we get this great of animation and this great of storytelling, I'm so impressed with this show. Great recommendation, guys. Thank you so much. They also show Powder breaking down twice. Once where she's like screaming and kind of tearing at her face a little bit, and then you can see her start to like lose her mind and like kind of almost become somebody else when she's really breaking down, and like you can see the darkness in her. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad, but there's a little crazy, there's a little off element to her that hasn't been dealt with, and the way she reacts to things is that she's more emotional. I would know. And I'm really concerned because I think she still has some more of the blue crystals. I don't think she put all of them in the monkey bomb and in the hands of Silko. That is terrifying. Because I actually like kind of like Silko, not like him in the sense of like, oh, he's a great guy. I like him as a character because there's depth to him, and there's emotion to him. But oh shit, if he gets his hands on that, we're going to get great animation, more great writing, more great storytelling. So while I don't want it to happen, I do want it to happen because I want to see it play out. The lab was destroyed, and I was wondering, because you see Singed get singed, and I'm wondering with the blue mixing with the purple, if that is going to affect Singed, if he's dead, if he's gone, but like also like do they see like a change happen because of the blue explosions? Because every time there's an explosion, there's like little pieces that are kind of floating around. Some of them explode and some of them like just kind of linger, right? So that mixing with the purple stuff, does it like complete the chemical formula so like they have longevity? Is it more controlled that way? I mean, look, I'm happy with the magic that we're getting, but I want some more of the science because that's the good stuff for me. I really like it. In Silko and Vander's history, apparently they were close. I don't know if they were just close friends, but they were close enough to consider each other brothers. I don't know if they were raised together, grew up together, like what that history is. I don't know if we get flashbacks of that. I think I would actually like really get emotional seeing Vander again, even though I haven't like he just died in the last episode. Like there hasn't been like episodes where I haven't seen him in a while. But if we get flashbacks, that'd be interesting. Um, what was the falling out? What happened that made Vander want to drown Silko, choke him? His eye gets ripped out. What caused that? I'm guessing that Silko's moral fibers were stretched kind of beyond Vander's comfortability. Because I could see Silko going a way that's not completely honorable or maybe not very humane, but it's an ends to a mean for him, or it's a means to an end. You know what I mean, hopefully. I don't even know what I mean half the time. But Silko wants respect. He might get respect within like his group, but I don't know if it's going to draw more people in. Most of the time, it's kind of culty, so it might happen, but I don't think it's going to make the people of Piltover go, oh, you know what, let's listen to this guy. They're just going to see him as dangerous and want to take him down. And when Silko is holding powder, you can really see him soften in that moment. And when she says, she's not my sister anymore, he lost Vander as a brother. And so he sees himself and her at that moment. And what is scary about that is like you can have somebody that you just have on your side, but I bet that there's a bond, like there's an emotional connection there now. And I don't know if it's fatherly, brotherly, but I feel like he is going to want to take care of her. And that's terrifying because I wouldn't leave anything in Silko's care. like like nothing would I leave in Silko's care. And with Vandergon and Benzogon, who runs the lanes? Like, is it chaos? Is it, two sides against each other on the underground? Is it the Silco side and the Vi side? Or the powder side and the Vi side? It's still that opening animation. I'm going to pay more attention to it this time. I just always was like, oh, this is beautiful animation. And then I was just like, wait, I didn't catch it until the third viewing, and I think it's because I was more hyper focused than I normally am. And Vi gave Powder a light to use, basically to, signal her like a bat signal. And I don't know, one, if Powder still has that, or if it's for good, if it's for bad. Like, is she going to call Vi and it be a trap? I don't know who Powder is anymore, so I don't know what to expect from her. And Jason Victor, with Mel's help, were able to make magic or control it. I'm still not quite sure if they're making magic or they're pulling magic from the stone or the crystal and then they're able to manipulate it. Not quite sure, and I hope they get more into that and they explain it just so I know what I'm talking about when I say it. You see Jace kind of tap into his memories and he's kind of manipulating the dial in the way the guy was moving his staff. And I thought that that was also a great callback, things that you don't think are going to play into a story, and then they do. Bravo. Bravo. And then we see Heimerdinger kind of like mesmerized, but like impressed, but like not overly impressed, kind of more scared. And he doesn't finish his statement, but he says, just because you can, and then it cuts off. And we're all like, it doesn't mean you should. Um, I feel like that is a foreshadow. It's very foreboding. Especially because Heimerdinger seems that he's magical, that he has history of magic, knowledge of magic, and the fear that he has of it, I'm gonna guess, is based on experience. And there's a lot of good that can come from it, but I'm sure that there's equal amounts bad, and he would know better than anyone. Okay, guys, episode 4 is happening now. I love this show. I'm so excited. All right, let's get into it. I had to momentarily stop recording to charge one headphone, not both, just one. If these are all the technical difficulties I have, fantastic. But I could just stop having difficulties in general, that would be great. Hey, buddy.
Can you believe it? Our city is about to turn 200 years old. A bicentennial.
It's shaping up to be an amazing progress day.
Progress day.
Stanwick Padidley.
Everything he built either exploded, melted, or
He
toppled
has
over.
the same mustache as him.
Stanwick set his personal ambitions aside and focused on something far more important. Our future. That was his sacrifice. The council has recommended you give the Progress Day speech this year. Your Hex Gates have done wonders for our city. Brought scholars from distant lands, reignited passions in arts and science. You deserve this honor.
Oh, a long way from being fearful of it. I want one.
You certainly have something to live up to, my boy.
Wow. But I wonder if the lanes benefited from it whatsoever. That's the big question. God, I forgot to mention the music on this show. It is brilliant. What is happening? Whoa, what just happened? Was that time travel? Was it space travel? Like, what the hell just happened? Jace, proud of you, buddy. See, this like makes me all emotional all over again. I don't want them to fight each other. I don't want them to be enemies. I'm just making up stories in my head and getting emotional about them. What do you know? Super cool. Look at Jace. They were gonna banish him and now his face is on posters.
Kate! Serves you right.
You still avoiding her?
I'm working. She'd do anything to keep me from seeing the real world.
Well, at least you'll have front row seats to the speech.
We really have to send it to anarchy.
Have fun hurting the drunkards.
Happy Progress Day!
I don't think you should drink and fly. I think that's a bad idea. Again, I wonder if the lanes have benefited whatsoever from that technology. I was wondering about this mask this guy was wearing, or girl, not quite sure. This guy.
Shipping manifest? From your friend downtown.
And this chick. Oh.
Oh shit, the firelights!
Firelights. Whoa. Who is that?
You ever seen this much shimmer before?
I call it the purple drink. Shimmer. I have to say that properly.
Burn it all.
So they want to get rid of it. They don't want to steal it. Oh! Oh no. Oh, it's a monkey. Shit. Because if Powder grows up to be anything remotely like Vi, they're in big trouble. Oh god, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready. shit. So Powder's ruthless now, I see. Oh god.
Hi.
Wow. Wow.
I can't lose you.
Look at this animation. Holy shit. Powder still has not learned to control her emotions.
You are supposed to guard the cargo.
What was that? I am so thoroughly confused, slightly happy, but kind of heartbroken at the same time. I have no idea what's going on. Well, Victor looks like he hasn't slept.
We stabilized the crystal like they asked. Built the hex gates like they asked. It's our turn to decide the future of Hextech.
Yay! I don't know what it is, but I love it and I want one.
What do we have on the docket?
It all began with this. A crystal of magical energy.
Yeah. Where is he getting these?
Hextech was supposed to bring magic into the life of the common man, and now it finally can. A Hextech gemstone.
Hammer.
Holy sprockets.
Holy sprockets.
This new version is stable and absolutely safe.
Famous last words. Look at him with his little glasses. Tick, tick.
Chapter of Hextech.
Oh, that looks like an infinity gauntlet.
The Atlas Gauntlets.
Atlas gauntlets.
The Hex Claw. A mechanical arm equipped with a powerful ray of light.
A little dangerous. This is brilliant. I love this.
To build a new world, and now it's finally possible.
No! Oh,
Quite amazing, gentlemen.
they almost hurt your pet. Don't be so happy.
Obviously, there are a few kinks to iron out and screws to be tightened, but give it a decade of careful research.
A decade.
A decade.
Oh, don't worry, my boy. It zips past you in the blink of an eye.
We can be improving lives with Hextech now.
And you're 300 some years old. 10 years to you is nothing.
Putting that kind of power into everyone's hands is dangerous.
Agreed.
Keep at it, and I'm sure you will discover a way to safeguard Hextech against misuse.
Maybe. This is a beautiful way of retelling the story. I like it. Is that blood on there? I'm digging the Caraman's daughter as being a cop.
Who shot you? Who were you working for?
I can't. He'll kill me.
Who? I can protect you.
Caitlin Kiraman. Why does that not surprise me? Interfering in an investigation again.
Marcus.
I want this one on a boat to Stillwater Prison.
I know the environment's not great in the underground, but I dig its vibe. Far cry from what Bander had it as. Man.
She fired on us.
There are always mishaps in battle.
It wasn't a mishap. She froze up and lost her shit.
Lost her shit.
I could have handled those brats. She's a problem and we all know it.
We? Who's we?
You know.
You failed. Don't disappoint me again.
I mean, she protected him in the last episode from that blast. Like, he could be dead right now.
The world's growing smaller every day. Thanks to the Hex Gate, the topsiders are leaving us further and further behind.
So no, they are not benefiting from the Hextech.
Your sister's gone. You know that as well as I do.
I know. Sisters, right? Can't live with them, can't stuff them back in the old baby maker.
She's broken.
I'm doing this for us, Jinx.
Jinx? She goes by Jinx?
Won't happen again.
I know. Take some time.
I don't need time.
Take it anyhow.
Still a brat. But there's a naivety that she still has too.
We've shown him our research. He thinks we need more time.
It's Progress Day. If there's a time to present a new creation, it is now. Heimerdinger is a great scientist, but he's old. He only ever sees the past. Piltover needs a leader who looks forward. Hextech has the potential to change everything. It's your speech. Give the people a glimpse of the future.
I mean, he hasn't really listened to Heimerdinger once, so why bother listening now?
It wasn't her. It wasn't. I got confused, that's all. Now, he thinks I'm weak.
You're unstable.
I'm not weak.
Does she have a mannequin of Milo?
Oh, I'm gonna show him. Y'all see.
She's cracked. She's broken. She is not okay.
You should come up with me. We're partners. No, not in front of all of them.
Why doesn't he want to be front and center?
Guess it's time.
Drinking out of a mug with his own face on it. Yikes. It's funny how Miss Caramon really wants to be involved now. Granted, I know that like her daughter could have died in that whole scenario that happened with Jace, but she was very much like, magic, get out.
No one in my life expected very much of me. And that is precisely what makes this moment so extraordinary. A few years ago, the Hex Gates opened their ports to the world.
So is it teleportation? I still don't know what the Hex Gate does.
This year, we've created something new for you.
Uh-oh.
That we will share with you when the time is right. We vow to keep pressing forward, for we are the city of progress, and our future is bright.
It's probably for the best, but Mel's not going to be super happy about that. Yeah. I mean, he could have at least said what they were working on. I guess that kind of puts him susceptible to, like, thievery.
Don't you have a cocktail party to attend?
Fire!
What's happening?
Get the fire brigade!
Oh, gosh. I think I have to start calling her Jinx, even though I don't want to, but definitely this is Jinx. Oh, what is the point of this, though?
Totally by accident.
Get out! Now!
Not good. Oh, is she gonna steal the stable crystal? Stable, for all we know? It's like the only thing stable in her life is a crystal. Good grief.
The gemstone is gone.
He didn't even announce it, and look what happened.
If the right person got a hold of it, it's possible they could utilize its energy.
Which is why he didn't want to announce it.
It was my responsibility to safeguard this technology, and I failed. I have come before you to recommend that we suspend all Hextech operations until the situation is resolved.
Hex gates must remain open. Thousands would lose their income.
Shouldn't the safety of Piltover be our first priority?
You would sacrifice your life's work?
If we shut down the Hex Gates, the city will suffer. But if we do nothing, we leave ourselves vulnerable to malefactors.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps the time has come to explore a more radical solution.
What are you suggesting?
Yeah, what are you suggesting?
I propose that a new chair be brought forth, and that House Talus be elevated to this august body. He will have the resources necessary to protect all our investments.
I don't know if that's what he wants.
I believe Counselor Medarda is right.
I just love his
Hextech
face, by the way.
security should be administered by a scientist. I second the motion.
I just don't even know if that's what Jace wanted.
That's me!
Half a dozen enforcers dead! Enforcers dead!
Yeah.
A building blown to pieces!
Oh, yeah.
He's not telling you good job.
Any idea what you've done?
Actually, I do. Happy Progress Day!
She's like Harley Quinn, but like way more dangerous, which is saying something. He's very confused as to what to do in that moment, and I don't blame him.
I've had a break in the case.
Oh.
Shouldn't you be resting?
I just want to admire the fact that she is very muscular. It's my look. I like it.
Work this out. Marcus will have to listen.
Marcus isn't going to listen.
They need more than just theories.
Since when did you concern yourself with the council's opinion?
Since he's on it.
Since I became a counselor.
House Talus security. I'd live behind a desk.
You almost died, Kate.
Yeah, that's not the life she wants to live.
But I already have a job.
Yeah, she wants to be in it, in the action.
After the attack, your parents spoke to the sheriff.
I don't need charity, counselor. Yours or my parents.
She's gonna go private. She seems very key on details, so I think she could do it on her own, actually.
Inmate 2135. Afraid that's not possible.
Why not?
Well, there's been...
He's dead.
An incident. The... not so pretty kind.
Oh. Are you kidding? She's been in jail?
Who the hell are you?
Oh my gosh, I have such a full body chill right now. Oh, that's nuts. That is crazy. Okay, so Vi is in jail. I mean, the first like 10 minutes of this episode, I thought she had died. So, or something happened to her. I didn't realize it wasn't Vi, and I don't know if it was because I wasn't looking closely enough at her face. I'm not quite sure what made me think that it was Vi, other than the red hair and the fact that Jinx, oh, I don't like calling her that. I don't like it at all. That Jinx thought it was Vi, so then I believed that it was Vi. Yeah, my bad. She's been in jail the whole time. I don't even know what to think of that. I'm sure we're gonna get either a backstory or, you know, something along the lines of some exposition to tell me how she got there. I'm really excited that we got more of Jace and the Hex Gates and the Hextech, and I got to understand really what the crystals do. That's kind of like, science is very near and dear to my heart, and I love that stuff. So seeing more of that, you know, Progress Day, and that how it has helped Piltover progress technology wise. And I didn't really realize, and I don't think they kind of go into that detail, so you kind of have to figure out as you're watching it, but I didn't realize that because Vander was part of a trade thing, that actually the entire city of Piltover was also part of trade. And obviously that there is a labor side of that, but like that they have the trade lanes that go through, and because of the hex gates, they have been literally put on the map, but also, you know, they are known now for their technology. And all thanks to Jace, like his face is everywhere. Coffee mugs, it's on whatever Jinx, I still don't like calling her that, whatever Jinx had on her little bomb, it had like the Happy Progress Day and like a little picture of Jace, and then, you know, so his face is everywhere. Jace dare I say he's like the Albert Einstein, right? Of like our world. He's like the most well-known scientist in their world. I'm curious as to how Silko is going to use the stable crystal. I don't know if he really knows what he's doing, but the fact that she also took Jace's notes on how to use the technology is definitely scary. But she doesn't have any remorse for anything that she does. Like, she's more upset that either she isn't appreciated for it or she's upset that Silko's disappointed in her. But, like, she doesn't care about the loss of life. She doesn't care about the destruction that she causes. She, if anything, loves that part of it. It's a very different girl than what we had in the beginning. Don't cry, Jesus. I told you, things that happen to us, our tragedies and our traumas shape who we become. Granted, there's always a choice. There's always a choice to make. She's making these choices. No one told her to go, kill the police officers or the guards or whatever they call them. No one told her to go do that. That was a choice. Um, she doesn't make good choices, and it's not framed in either reality or in logic because she is like, I know what I'll do, and it's more so to make herself look more grandiose rather than look better to Silko. She thinks it's going to happen, but she's like, the bigger the better, or the more destruction or the more chaos, the better. um I certainly, I don't know how I feel about her character, especially because there's sometimes where the animation kind of does a little blip and then you see like where it's like her drawings over top of people's eyes and faces and stuff like that. Like that's definitely a person who's got some synapses that are not firing correctly. Like there's something wrong, and that breaks my heart. It was probably already there. It was there. I mean, we saw her breaking down in the last episode and how she was handling her emotions wasn't necessarily healthy, or stable. She's not stable. So then when we see her here and she has all this power and all this knowledge and know how, she definitely is scarier in that state. Holy shit. Mm. But then we also see Heimerdinger like really like embracing the Hextech a little bit at the beginning. I thought for sure he still wouldn't have been really behind Jace because he didn't seem really happy in the last episode, saying just because you can doesn't mean you should. Really, when Jace and Victor are showing him the stable crystals, he seemed energized by it, but definitely, he's a thinker. He's a man of using logic, and he knows that, like, especially when his little pet gets kind of zapped, that like it needs work still. It's not ready, and no reason to rush simply because it's a bicentennial. And I think Jace kind of had to think about it and like really say like, no, I want to present my new technology because now I'm front and center. I'm the world stage. My face is everywhere. I've created this. And of course he doesn't want to let Mel down, but then I think he knows like deep down like it's not something that he should do. And I actually was just like, well, if he did that, then people would want to steal that technology. It got stolen anyway, so it didn't even matter. With or without anyone knowing about it, it got taken. My neighbor's outside listening to music in his car, and the bass is a little thumpy. I mean, it's better than the guy with the loud ass muffler. So anyway, and we also saw that Silko took over the bar. Was it the last drop? I don't know if that name is particularly important at all, but because it was Vander's, pub, it was his watering hole, and like the difference between the two is that his was like kind of a pub vibe, and Silko has a club vibe. You could just see the difference in personality, and obviously it looks like Silko's in charge. But I was wondering if the Hextech had made it easier for people in the lanes, and because of the trade routes and using the hex gates, Silko even says like the world's getting smaller and it's getting harder. The shimmer that they keep getting, I don't really know what they're using that for, but it was really interesting that you saw Jinx put it in his eye, and it was just a little drop, just enough. But I don't know. I don't know what it does yet. Like I know it transforms somebody, and it can cause you to become a rage monster. So he's got a rage eye. I don't know, but but I want to know what they are using it for now. Especially the council has said, you know, they have shimmer and they have advancements in their technology as well. So, or endeavors. I don't know if they actually use the word technology. So it's really interesting where I see this going. Obviously, it's going to be Jace wanting to protect the Hextech and the Hex Gates. And because of Kate going to talk to Vi, I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming at all. But with her getting involved with Vi, and I think Vi like knowing that it's Powder, and then Powder like they kept saying Vi was gone, and I don't know if they know that she's in jail or they just haven't seen her, so they assume that she's no longer in Piltover or the Underground. But at some point, you know, Vi and Jinx have to square off. They're gonna use Vi as a means to fight this. The only thing that I love about that, and again, it's if it happens because you know I'm kind of saying what I think is going to happen, but I feel like Vi is going to be the leader. That either saves Piltover or she makes a name for herself. Um, and obviously we see Jace in the opening credits with the hammer, so you know he's involved somehow too. I'm very interested to see how this plays out. Okay, guys, as usual, like, subscribe, leave me a comment. Please don't spoil the upcoming episodes. Just talk about this one and what's happened previously. That's completely fine. And or if you do, write spoiler and then your stuff underneath. That way I don't read it. And then you guys can have discussions all you want. I just if I see it, it's going to be spoiled for me. I don't have the opportunity actually to watch all of the episodes and have it released in a timely manner, so I'm just going to have to do my best of dodging. Just gonna have to dodge it. I guess I don't have much of a choice. All right, guys, you can find me on my Instagram, Funny Little Gal Reacts. I talk about content over there all the time. But come back here for episode 5. It's this show, like the time jump, the technology jump, the age difference, the fact that Powder has now turned into Jinx and she's crazy. There is just more shenanigans to come. And like I said, the storytelling in this is amazing. And I can guess what's coming next, but I have no way of knowing how it's going to unfold. And I'm excited. Okay, guys, I'll see ya.